Hey guys, so I haven't made a cooking video in a really long time, so I thought I would come on and do a special cooking video, chicken marsala in my Instant Pot. And I wanted to share it with you guys. So let's take a look. It's the what'scookinginchicago.com and it's a creamy chicken marsala pasta. And there's the recipe. So I'm using chicken thighs. I got an onion, a sweet onion. I got some baby portobello. For my broth, I'm going to be using some of my bone broth that I made. And then I got this Marsala wine, penne pasta, and then I've got a couple organic chicken broth if I need it. I've got some chopped garlic, and then it says it calls for parsley. I thought it called for basil, so I'm gonna try some of this. I bought this, which I thought was kind of cool. It's lightly dried. I'm gonna use this Pensie's roasted garlic powder, and then this is the Pensie's roasted onion powder. I just put it in a different jar. Okay, so I cut the mushrooms up in pretty good sizes, pretty good chunks, and then a whole sweet onion. So I just set that there, and then I've got about 2.5 pounds of chicken thighs. The thighs, they're pretty thin, and I cut them in pretty good sizes, so that's 2.5 pounds. I'm going to coat them in this quick mixing flour. It's really fine. I'm just gonna pour the flour in there, make sure everything's kind of coated, and then I'm gonna fry it up in batches. So the Instant Pot, I'm going to put it on saute. And you want to do hot pan, cold oil in stainless steel like this because that's what's going to make it non-stick. I'm doing a video. So a couple tablespoons of olive oil.
Wait, re-say that.
A couple tablespoons of olive oil.
A couple tablespoons of olive oil.
This is why videos don't always happen in my house, because I have a teenager. Okay, so the oil is in there, and if you take a look, just lightly coated with flour. So I'm just gonna put them in there and let them fry up. So I forgot to add some of the seasoning, so I'm just gonna do that real quick over this, and then in the pot, in the other chicken that I'm gonna be cooking. So I'm just doing some onion powder, some garlic powder, kosher flake salt, and just a little pepper. Okay, I'm on the second batch of chicken, and I think it just needs a little bit, so I'm gonna melt a little bit of butter in there with it and just continue to brown it, just to maybe give it a deeper brown color. Okay, I'm all done. Here's all the chicken. So I'm gonna put a little bit more olive oil in there and just a little bit of butter, like a tablespoon. And I'm gonna put the onions and the mustard in. And then I'm gonna cook those for a little bit until the onions are translucent. Okay, I'm gonna add about a tablespoon of garlic. And then I also did salt, pepper, the garlic powder, and the onion powder. I'm just gonna stir that all up and let it sweat out. I think I'm gonna put the basil in now as well and let it cook in, because it is lightly dried, and it feels fresh actually. So just like about a teaspoon, just to give it some green. I don't want to overpower it with the basil flavor, but you can smell it for sure. Okay, that's about where I want it. I don't want them completely cooked. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna put the chicken back in, make sure I get all of the juices from that chicken. Ooh, this is gonna be good. And then just stir it up really good. Get all that mixed up. And then I'm going to add the pasta. It is 1 pound of penne pasta. And this is the part that I've been the most worried about, is would the pasta cook in the Instant Pot? This is gonna be, I mean, this is a lot of stuff for it to cook. And this is dried pasta. So it's an experiment of this bone broth. And I'm actually going to measure it a bit because I don't want to put too much in. I'd say that's, and it was frozen, so that's what you're seeing. Actually, there's 3. So I'm gonna, this big chunk right there you're seeing is frozen because I just pulled it out of the freezer. It doesn't look that appetizing, but okay, I'm gonna add another cup of just regular chicken broth, organic chicken broth, and I'm gonna stir that up. And that penne pasta is going to soak up all the juice. I'm actually gonna add a little bit more because I want to see the liquid in there. If I can do a cornstarch slurry and thicken it up if it's too thin. Put the lid on. And because I have so much chicken and I did add more than what the recipe called for, I'm going to put it on manual at 6 minutes and it'll be on the high pressure setting, and we're gonna see how that turns out. So the Instant Pot is now coming up to pressure. It takes about 15 minutes to come up to pressure. It might be a little quicker because I was cooking in it already. And so while that's going on, I'm going to prep my asparagus. So I'm just gonna drizzle the asparagus lightly with some olive oil. I've got some flake salt here. I'm just gonna lightly salt it. And then some pepper. It's just black pepper. Right now I need to refill my salt and pepper shaker, so I'm making do with the bags and stuff. And then I'm just gonna lightly put this dill seasoning on. And this stuff I just got, and it says dill weed, garlic, onion, herbs, spices, and they're dehydrated. So, and then this garlic rub that has some bigger chunks of garlic in it, and some garlic powder. So I just put those in there. Just shake the pan a little bit so everything's coated, and then I'm gonna cook that after the next step in the pasta. I was worried there for a minute because it did take quite about 15 minutes to come up to pressure, but I did stop it and change the time to 5 minutes just because I would rather not overcook the noodles. I can cook them more after, but if they're mushy right off the bat, because you still have to cook it with, I'm gonna add a cup of Marsala wine, about 5 tablespoons of butter, between half and a cup of half and half, depending. I just have to see what the texture's like. And then I'm gonna do a mix of shredded Parmesan and the grated Parmesan. And so it's gonna pop here in about a minute. Then I'll show you what it's like when you release the steam. It can be a little scary, but I have never had any issues. I do kind of put a towel over, not to block any of the steam, but just to block any juices coming out when I'm first releasing it. And then once it's not spurting liquid, which it sometimes does, then I take the towel off completely. So now the time is up. So let's take a look. Just use like a flour cloth towel so it's thin. And I just put it over the top there for a second. Release. Woo! See? So I don't see any liquid spurting, so then I will take the cloth off. That'll take a couple minutes to let off some steam. But that pan should drop here any second. At this point, there's like no real pressure in there, see? So it dropped. So let's take a look. If there's pressure still in here, it will not let you open the lid, so you don't have to worry about it, but there still is a lot of liquid. Oh no, that's perfect, because it'll thicken up as I cook it more too. And that pasta looks good. It may be a little overcooked. Let's see, I'll try it and let you know. Right now it's perfect, because we like ours a little, not a little less than al dente, but I'm glad that I took it down a minute, because that would have been probably overcooked. So now it says to add the butter and the Marsala wine. I'm only going to add half of the wine for now, but I'm going to cook that up. Get that butter melted. Oh, you can really smell the wine. And you can already start it to see it thicken. I'm actually going to add the rest of the Marsala wine now. I'll get that cooked down just a little bit. I'm going to put it back on saute. Okay, so I'm going to put the half and half in right now. I put the asparagus in too. So it's cooking, and then it calls for a cup of Parmesan. So I'm going to put about a fourth of a cup of the regular, and then about half a cup of the powdered. And then I'm just going to get that all mixed in, and it's already looking really nice and creamy. I think I'm going to add some salt and pepper. A lot of pepper, but there's a big pot here, so yeah, it's getting nice and thick already. Okay, so I'm gonna finish the asparagus and get the rolls heated up, and then we'll plate this and see what everybody thinks. Okay, here is the final plated version, and just to show you, it did thicken up, nice sauce. The pasta is how I like it. I would actually go down to 4 minutes, maybe even 3 minutes, because you're gonna cook it for a while in the sauce, and if it's more al dente at the beginning, I think that would be better. So next time I think I'll cook it only for 3 minutes, because you end up cooking it for about 10 more minutes at the end, just to thicken it all up and get all the flavors married. But I think it's a success. Let's see what they think. Okay, I got the old man in here. He's gonna be the taste tester.
24 years of taste testing. I'm a professional.
Yes, you are.
Okay, so do I go for the full bite experience here?
Yeah, do it.
How do I get the noodle on the fork?
If I have to show you that.
Mmm.
You like it?
Mm-hmm. Chicken's very moist.
Okay, I'm gonna have Caitlin try it.
It's good.
You like it?
Yeah.
She's not a big meat eater, so she did the noodles and mushrooms. What do you think, Marcus? What do you think?
Well,
Good. Okay, I would say it's a success. The feedback I did get, though, that it needed more salt. So take that into account, because I think because the pasta goes in there and you don't salt the water. Usually the pasta's got salt from the salted water. So take that into consideration and add salt to your liking. Okay, thanks for watching. Have a good day.